Good morning. You listen to FloorDaily.net, and I'm Kemp Harr. This morning, my guest is Dave Meberg, the CEO of Consolidated Flooring. Dave, how you doing?
Good morning, Kemp. Doing well today.
Most people know who Consolidated Flooring is, a very large commercial contractor, family-owned with a base in New York, and you expanded into Chicago several years ago and recently expanded, I guess, last year into Indy and Florida. So how's business?
Business is pretty good across the board, Kemp. We're seeing a lot of increased activity. Our new offices in Indy and Southeast Florida and San Antonio, Texas, as well as booking up some nice backlogs. Our core businesses in Chicago and New York are both seeing increased activity as well.
We saw some data recently about back to work and how that's impacting the office market, and New York, obviously a huge mecca for office. What are you seeing there?
Yeah, all indicators have been pointing up. We've seen growth in our backlog. We've seen growth in our estimating statistics. Everything is moving in the right direction. As we speak to our customers up the line, they're all seeing increased activity. They were really, even more optimistic for the second half of this year. But obviously, with all the turmoil that we've been facing in the past week, there's obviously some skepticism out there right now. It's going to take a lot to stop the train. I mean, people are back to work here in Manhattan and New York City. Offices need to be refreshed. They need to be repositioned. The general consensus is that the office market bottomed out, and we're now rebounding.
I saw you recently, and you were joking with me about make carpet great again. Obviously, carpet is used in the office environment, so you're seeing an uptick in the demand for carpet, aren't you?
We are. The thing that I've been saying for years is offices used to be 90% carpet, 10% resilient. We've obviously seen that mix change over the course of the last decade or two. The new offices are coming back. We are seeing carpet with their fair amount of market share. It's too early to tell whether they're taking share away from other surfaces right now. We still see plans and specs being issued with a variety of finishes, everything from terrazzo to epoxies to wood. Engineered wood has taken a real strong position in the corporate environment. There's ground still to be gained by carpet, but, I would still say it does cover the majority of the floor space.
One of the reasons I wanted to talk to you today, with all this noise in Washington about these tariffs and you having your finger on the pulse of what's going on in the construction business, what's the consensus out there in the trades about how the next couple of months might play out?
The word that's used the most around all this is uncertainty. There's just a discomfort when there's so much tumultuousness in the marketplace, that nobody knows where we're going to really land. Ultimately, the consensus is that given a few months that this will settle in, that deals will be negotiated. Hopefully, some type of trade balance will be restored. What we're seeing right now is we are seeing some general contractors, builders getting very aggressive in buying projects early. And they're trying to lock in pricing as much as they can, and we're trying to leave ourselves as much room to wiggle as we can. I really feel that the industry itself is taking a position where we need to ride this thing out for the next 60 to 90 days. And everybody's got their fingers crossed that enough deals will be negotiated with our trading partners that the market will settle itself down. Whether or not that happens, we don't know, but I think everybody's just holding their breath a little bit and hoping that cooler heads prevail and that deals can be negotiated in short order.
Your business has been in New York for about 80 years. What are we looking at now?
We're into our 82nd year right now, so, we've seen a lot.
By the nature of commercial contracting, it's a lot of it's bid work, and you need to lock in on your price. How do you protect yourself not knowing what's going to happen with pricing based on tariffs?
Well, it's really hard. You need to try to negotiate rights to escalate your pricing if your costs are affected. Contractors and owners want to limit those rights. There are certain techniques where you can benchmark your costs against certain indices. We see that happening. But in general, the majority of our contracts turn anywhere from 3 to 6 months. We're not too long in the market. We are seeing, though, with some of this tumultuousness, as I referenced before, contractors buying up work. I mean, I just negotiated a project about 2 weeks ago for a job that won't occur until the end of 2026. So obviously, a lot of concerns right there. Thankfully, I don't think that many of the products that are used in this project will be too susceptible to tariffs. But nonetheless, I'd be hoping on some of the other cost decreases, like the price of oil today is bottoming out. Other prices that could affect the marketplace are converse to the tariff issue. We're hoping it all balances out, but we have to negotiate very hard when we get into these contract negotiations to try and protect our upside all we can.
Sounds like a roulette wheel, doesn't it?
It sort of does, but look, we're used to negotiating deals. I mean, obviously, we prefer a more stable environment in which to negotiate them in. But I said, back when COVID hit us, a lot of the contractors who are well positioned today, whether it be my clients, my peers, myself, we've seen a lot. We've been through a lot. We've been through financial crises here in New York. We went through 9/11. We went through the banking crash in 2008. We've seen a lot. And I never had a doubt in my mind that we'd make it through COVID and all the uncertainty that brought us. And here we go. We're just starting on the upswing, and we got something else thrown into the mix. It's sort of par for the course as far as we're concerned.
All right. I know you're a StarNet board member, and I'm going to see you in Carlsbad, California at the end of the month, right?
Yeah, end of April, back on our regular meeting schedule. We'll be meeting out in California. Looking forward to getting some sunshine and warm weather. The spring really hasn't sprung yet here in New York City. We've had a bit of a cold snap, so I'm definitely looking forward to get down into some of the warmth and seeing all our industry partners gathered together.
All right, Dave, it's good to catch up with you again. Been talking to Dave Meberg, the CEO of Consolidated Flooring, and you've been listening to Kemp Harr and FloorDaily.net.